All right, we didn't millennial pause as big as we normally do, but today it's August 28th. It's like, I don't know, it's like 11 right now. And we have a video episode for you. How crazy. Oh my gosh. I don't know how good it's gonna be because like I just have my little webcam thing and I got this like a couple months ago when I was wanting to do what is it even called? Twitch. I forgot what it was called. I wanted to be a Twitch streamer for quite a minute there this year. And I did it. I mean, technically I did it. It was just that I didn't stick with it. I might go back to it someday, but it's just there's other formats that I'm digging more right now, but I still have the webcam to use, so I'm gonna make the most of that while I have it, until, I get a newer one. And so I freaking, I want to get some really good equipment and like get like a real setup going for you guys, because this is not the kind of video production level that I want. Periodically you're gonna hear me say, hey, because Julie is licking his paws over here. So, and it's not because of the noise. I don't care about the noise, but it's because he licked his paw, like he licked the fur off of one of his knuckles one time, and we had to like take him to the vet because we thought there was like something in his paw, and the vet like checked him and there was like no foreign object. He was like literally just having anxiety. So relatable. Julius is so relatable. So welcome, first of all, to the GMST podcast. Welcome and welcome back if you're a return listener. I really appreciate if you are. And if this is your first time, I will love you so much if you come back and keep listening with us. This podcast is geared towards millennials trying to navigate this economy, but not just that. We talk about a lot of issues that people are too afraid to talk about. So that's why we're here. That's why we are doing what we do. I've really loved the last like few episodes that I've been doing and the topics that I've been covering. Sorry, I'm like trying to take my phone out. I like set it here because I was like thinking I was gonna double record so I could, I don't know, do a bunch of stuff, but then I was like, you know what, this is just a distraction. Get this thing out of my face. Yeah. I just like, I don't like the video episodes as much for the moment. Oh, and then I realized, dude, I'm having so many thoughts going in my head right now. I'm never gonna get to any point I'm trying to tell you, but like I realized I was like messing with this pen for like every episode, so remind me to like don't touch the pen, empty hands. Yeah, so we're back for a fourth episode. I never know what the episode's gonna be called until like after, but I know that I'm gonna be telling you guys a couple different stories today, having to do with misogyny and just being a woman in the world. So those are gonna be in this episode at some point. So, but I was trying to also think of like, what are like some common themes or some common segments or like a common bit that I can come and do every week or most weeks or whatever, or like we'll have like a set expectation of what we expect when we watch. So I was thinking about some different stuff that I would want to be able to like revisit each week, keep it fresh, keep it interesting, and also keep it a little bit local too. I don't know if you guys know where I'm from. I'm from Utah. I'm from Salt Lake City. I've lived here like my whole life, even though I've traveled different places and wanted to move different places. I've always been here. And so I like to frequent local businesses and stuff like that. So I always want to support them and like spread awareness about them in like the city so that other people can try them too and support as well. So I wanted to make sure that I start doing a segment about local businesses. So there was a couple that I tried last week, and I just really wanted to tell you guys about them. So That's gonna be a segment that we do from here on out, as long as I can like get to one. Usually I can get around to different places. We are foodies. We like to try a little bit different things. And so yeah, I'm gonna be talking about that. And then another segment idea that I have is like a weekly like someone you should know, and like somebody that like is on my radar, and tell you guys how I found that person and why they're cool and why you should know them too. Generally I think that will be like somebody from like social media or whatever from the internet that I discover that I feel like you guys should check them out too. And then yeah, there was one thing too actually from an older episode. I believe I can't keep track of all my episodes so far, but I want to say it had to do with my first episode, and something huge in that episode that I forgot to like talk about, and I don't even know how I forgot it because it's like so impactful to me in my life and just totally relevant to that episode. Yeah, but I just want to make sure that before we get into any of that I like address what's going on. So let me like start from the top too, like just in my mind, not that we're like starting over or anything, but just so I make sure I get all the thoughts out that I want to. So hi, I'm Angie Mendez, host of this GMST podcast, Getting My Shit Together. I said a little bit about like what it was about, and make sure to check out my previous episodes if you haven't already. The first one, it's a video version, but episode 2 and 3 are just audio only, so you could just like put them on while you're doing something else and just listen, whatever you want to do. You can honestly do that with the first episode too. Yeah, so that's why we're here. We want to talk about different issues. It's important that like I get my voice out because I have a lot of shit to say, and I don't know, man. I think that you should have a platform too. But yeah, so I was super passionate about my last episode too. It was about addiction and neurodivergence. If you watched like any of the episodes, please make that one a priority because I just think the message is so important. So let's get into it. So let's talk about, I want to get it out of the way first, about the skill regression thing. Oh, I've got the pen in my hand again. Let's not do that. So about the skill regression. So I talked in the skill regression video mostly about like school and work and those skills that I developed in those places and how it has regressed since then. But one thing I didn't talk about that like I can't believe I didn't talk about it because it's so important and it has so much to do with like adulting and just functioning in this world and in the car-centric society and everything. So basically just driving. So when I was a teenager, I took a driver's ed course at school, and like I think I had set it up so that I took it just as like I was gonna turn 16, so I'm pretty sure like I was finishing up the course as I was turning 16. And a lot of people didn't get to do it that way because it was kind of like where your birthday fell determined whether you do like first semester or second semester driver's ed. So technically I was supposed to do second semester, but like I weaseled away to like be like, hey, let me do first semester because my birthday's like right at the end of first semester anyway. Like I'm born in January. So I had it so that I should have been able to get my driver's license as soon as I turned 16. And I did everything that I needed to in order to do that, except I guess the driving hours. And because I think you have to have like a certain amount of like maybe like 40 hours of driving that your parent like signs off on so that you can go and get your license, because they give you in your driver's ed course, if you pass it and you pass all the different things that you have to do, they give you a document that's called like your completion. So certificate of completion for your driver's license. So that once you have that certificate, that all you have to do is take that paper and then whatever the fee was, I think it was like $30 to the DMV, and then just that alone you can have your license. But everybody I knew like nobody had done like those 40 hours or whatever, and everybody's parent was just like signing it off for them. So I was like hoping and expecting that my mom would do the same, but like I don't know, like maybe ask her. I don't know what was going on through her head, but she just like would not sign it off for me. Like she wanted me to literally like get those hours, which was like kind of impossible. And I don't even think we had like, I can't remember, I don't know if we had a car at the time. Like I think we did. But either way, just like I didn't get the hours, and so she didn't sign it off. And so I didn't get my license at 16, even though I was totally ready to, like everything I had power to do, like I did it. And then my certificate of completion expired. And then after that, I was like, oh, well, what do I do now? It's like I took this whole driver's ed course, but then like I didn't even do anything with it, you know what I mean? Like degree vibes. But yeah, so once it expired, then I had to go through the process like almost all over again, or like had to go through like an adult version of the process. So I had to like do an online test like in the DMV, and then I had to do another driving test, which I had already done that in driver's ed. Like if I had just gotten the license with the completion, it would have been so simple and easy. Anyway, fast forward. So I think I got my license when I was like 18, I believe is when I actually got it, even though I knew how to drive for like years before that. But it was kind of like pointless for me to even have the license, because literally I didn't drive alone in a car until I was 23. And that's because nobody I knew would let me drive their car, even though I had a license. So that's 5 years with a license that nobody would let me drive their car. And it was like kind of just my mom, I guess, like, because I didn't really ask to drive anybody else's car, nor did I want to or expect to or anything, but just like, I don't know, there's such a common trope of like, hey mom, let me like borrow your car and like go to the freaking McDonald's, or, you know, like that just seems like a really common thing. That was not a thing for me. So the first time I did drive in a car by myself, I was 23, like I said, and the only reason that happened was because my mom had 2 cars at the time, and she needed one of them moved. And so that was the first time I got to drive in the car alone by myself. And so I was just like driving like maybe like a mile, like from like one neighborhood to the next, like no big deal, not a crazy thing, no. And I was terrified because like when you're sheltered like that, like you're gonna be afraid of everything. And so I was always afraid to drive. But that year, then I was actually allowed to borrow that same car that I drove. And then like eventually, because she had the other car and she was using that one, then I was allowed to primarily use the Nissan or whatever for my own, even though it wasn't like in my name, but it was like, it was my car. So that was a fun year. It was 1 year that I drove that car, because what had happened was it's really sad and awful, and I hate this story, but like it's just like my canon event, and it explains a lot of like what I'm dealing with now. So beginning of the story, like you have the context all the way up till the story that like I was kept kind of from getting my license, and then kept from driving kind of, and of course I could have gotten my own car and done all that and whatever, but when, I don't know, when people keep you under the thumb, you believe you're stuck there. So just keep in mind, like, give me grace, you know. We're learning, we're gonna be independent someday. So I got to drive that year, and I was going on my day off. This was when I worked at Ulta. I was going to like get my eyebrows like done or something, which is so silly now that I think about it, because like I do my own eyebrows and like I'm growing them out, and like it was just unnecessary. Like I should have stayed at home that day and none of this would have happened. But so I was driving on 1300 East. It's like a big crazy road. Everybody drives way too fast on that street. I was in the far right lane because I don't even know why. That was the second mistake. And okay. There's a street called Wilmington. This is in Sugar House. Somebody was crossing Wilmington on 1300, like pedestrian, and the drivers in that lane weren't paying attention. So the first driver that was like almost gonna hit that pedestrian, they slammed on the brake. Okay, cool, right? The person after that, it was like this little Subaru chick. She was like, she slammed on the brakes. Cool, right? Okay. I'm behind her. I slam on my brakes. Okay, cool, right? The guy behind me, he slams on his brakes. Okay, cool, right? Dude, I hate this story. And then the girl behind him, she's a teacher in this big red heavy car. She's like texting and driving. She eventually slams on her brakes. Okay, cool, right? No, not cool. No, because she slammed into the guy behind me so hard that he slammed into me. So hard that I slammed into the doucheroo. Okay, cool, right? So no, yeah, do you know what happened? Okay, baby's first car accident. And guess what? My car was the only one that was totaled. For all the cousins that want to spread gossip that I'm crying in the episode. Yeah, this is something to cry about. Like, I'm not crying, but I was crying then. God damn. That was like one of my top 5, like, well, was it? Hold on. I don't know. I probably have some bad experiences in life, but God, that was like a top 10, like, bad experience in life. That was just the end of it all. Like, all these obstacles that I overcame to, like, be a driver. And then they were all ended by some girl because she was texting. It sucked. Oh my gosh. It really sucked. And I like called my mom because I didn't know what to do in the situation. And she was like at work. So I was like, oh fuck, like what do I do? And then the front of the car was all bashed in. And it like the grill was like smashed in and it screwed up the radiator got bashed. It was like leaking all this fluid, and I don't know anything about cars. All I knew was that it ran to like get me home. But yeah, eventually, you know, we all had to call the insurances and whatever, and some appraiser had to come out and like appraise the car, and it determined to be totaled. And then he gave me like 2 options. Like my first option was like I can keep the car and get like a payout of like about $2,000, which wouldn't have been enough to like fix the car anyway. Then I could like figure out what to do with the car like on my own. Or they offered to take the car and then like give me like $2,500 or something like that. So that's what we went along with, because I didn't even honestly want another car. I didn't want to deal with that situation again or any situation like it. And so we kind of thought like we'd like to go to Europe, and so that's literally, we like took the money and went to Europe. So that was I don't know, we made the best of a bad situation. But yeah, somewhere in the deep depths of my internet files, I have like a sad video of that car getting towed away. So yeah, and after that experience, like I've never been the same. I did like drive a little bit, like maybe a year after that. It's a whole other kind of story about like my mom having a stroke and then like driving her Cadillac, and that's a whole other episode, I swear to God. But so I did drive temporarily after that, but like very, very temporarily, and during like one of the darkest times of my life. This is also a darkest time of my life. So it's funny, but it's weird because back when I did drive, I was such a brave girl. I was so, she's so brave. How does that song go? She's so brave, she's well behaved. I can't remember the song, but you know what I'm talking about. The one about the little pit bull in the elevator on TikTok. If you guys don't have TikTok, like literally get over yourself and get it. Like, do you think you're cool? Do you think you're special because you don't have TikTok? You're just lame, honestly. You're just like on your high horse, so chill, dude. But maybe I'm like too chronically on TikTok, but I I didn't have this in my notes, but this organically just came up. I had a video really recently. It's going like baby viral for me, which that's perfect because I don't want to go real viral because that's terrifying and like my heart can't take it. But like to go baby viral, that makes me feel good because like my content is being seen and acknowledged and like related with, and I'm not being like put in a spotlight that I can't handle. And so I love that. And so I feel like I want to tell you guys the story that I told on TikTok that is like getting so much like traction and attention. And so I kind of had forgotten for several years that this even happened because I try not to think about this like awful shit that happened like in high school because it makes me want to like beat a bitch up. I've got to like crack the knuckles. Oof, yeah, ready to fight. But yeah, so basically this story that I'm about to tell, it's also on my TikTok. So if you watch my TikTok, you're already gonna have heard it. It's like a little redundant, whatever, I don't care. Anyway, so let's set the scene. I was at West High School. It was like junior year. I was in my math class. Okay. And so my math class was like a weird class where like you had to be like a little bit smart to be in it, but like but it's not the real smart kids. It's not like the really super brainiac kids. These are the kids who are like just smart enough to not be like in the regular class, but really like not driven enough to like be in the fancy class. Okay, so so that like explains me as a person. But there was this girl in the class and I never like really talked to her. It wasn't like that I didn't want to. It's just we were different in different circles. She was like a popular kind of girl on the sports teams and I just like wasn't any of that stuff. So I think we might have had one or two mutual friends, but whoever they were, that person felt comfortable talking smack about me to them. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I could be wrong about all this. Just my experience. So there was a period of this math class where I decided to skip. Can't remember what was going on. I didn't show up to class. And so this girl, she took that as an opportunity to target me in this way. So what she did, she took the, you know, like how at the front of the class, there's like a front whiteboard and then at the back, there's like a back whiteboard. So I guess sometimes if the teacher wanted, he could use that one, but mainly he used the front one. So the back one is just sitting there tempting little scribbling fingers. So this girl with her little scribbling fingers, she wrote on the back whiteboard, she wrote a love note, okay? And she made this love note be from me, the girl who's not in class today. Oh, my Julie, he's grumping over there. I wonder if you can hear him. So she wrote this love note and she she wrote it to a boy in our class, a boy who's in the basketball team and like a popular boy, somebody I also didn't talk to. And so I didn't understand because I was just like, okay, girl, like you're writing a letter from me, who not in the class today, to the boy, and like what's so funny? What's so funny about this? Like what is this about? Why did she do this? And so I was very much more concise in the video on TikTok. Like I was like asking like, why is she targeting me? You know, we don't even talk. What does the boy have to do with it? Why'd she do this? And like she did it, you know, when I wasn't there. She wouldn't have done it when I'm there. What a fucking I think I would have stood up for myself, right? I'd like to think so. Maybe I'm wrong because I've been like a pushover, you know, most of my life. I would say I'm not anymore, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, just freaking weird behavior. And so I put that on TikTok and so far over 200 likes. I don't even get 100 likes on anything. Even the stuff that I worked hard on and like put my heart into. Like, so that should tell you this is really a profound canon experience. Not in that detail, but like that there's always a mean girl at school that will like target us for no reason, treat us like crap for no reason, give us like a story to tell to you. So it's just weird, very weird. And I don't want to think about that girl. And so it's just weird. And like, I know that I'm friendly with like at least one person who was there and witnessed that happened. And I really want to know their perspective. And I really hope that they, first of all, that they remember what happened and that they're honest with me, because like, I don't know, it just gives me like a nervous feeling that like people that I think I can trust, maybe I can't. I don't know. Anyway, but that's my story. That's my story that I told on TikTok that's like getting some attention. So if you want to check it out, you can like do that. My TikTok's at World of Guera. So yeah. Another thing I wanted to randomly mention was like, I feel like I totally bit the style of this girl that is also on TikTok. I don't know if she listens to this podcast. I really wish she did, because she's super cool. But her name's Katya. And so like I literally feel like my makeup and my hair are like so inspired by her today. Like she always does the wavy hair. And it's so funny and weird because like I have like literally my hair is wavy, but not like this. So like how many hours did I spend blowing out my hair straight to then just sit with a waver iron and do this? And how similar is it to like my natural texture, you know? Kind of feels silly. But yeah, I just wanted to like say something about that, because it's like if she watched and she's like, wait, she's like stealing all my style. Yes, girl, you are my style inspo. So yeah. Okay, so let's talk about local businesses. Let's talk about local businesses. That should be like my little jingle or something. So I have 2 local businesses that I want to shout out this week. The first one, I need to like walk you through like how I experience the world for like just a moment. I should have had my water closer to me. This is gonna kill me. I have this condition. It's a eating disorder. It's called ARFID. So that means avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. So this is kind of also like a sensory issue that I have. I have a very limited palate, and what determines that is texture. So there's textures that are safe for me, and there's textures that will make me instantly sick. So onion is a very common problem for me. Like I feel like everywhere has onion and everything, and it's so gross and I hate it. And like I like onion, which is weird because like it's the taste that's fine. Like if you process up onion enough and I can't like bite into it, the taste is not gonna bother me, but the texture will. So if I bite into like even the tiniest chunk of onion, it's over for me. I could be like completely starving one moment, bite one onion, no more food will enter my stomach that day. Like it's not okay, but like that's just the condition I live with. So it makes it incredibly hard to go out, get food. Like I have to familiarize myself with a place and like know and trust their food, or have a workaround or whatever. So just all that being said, I wanted Greek food. I think this was the other day. Was it yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday. It was like 2 days ago. I don't know when it was. It was recently. I wanted Greek food. And so my go-to is I get chicken souvlaki. And so some places they will do the kebab of the souvlaki. I don't know. Different cultures call it different thing. For me, it's like food on a stick. So souvlaki, that's what it is. Sometimes they just do chicken on the stick. That's my ideal. That's perfect. But it's not always like that. Sometimes they will do like chicken, onion, zucchini, and like on like that. And so what I'll do is I will take everything off the stick, separate the chicken over, so I can just eat from the chicken. And the weird thing is, technically I like zucchini just as a rule, but like not in this context because it's like sliced really thin and like put always by an onion. So in that context, I can't eat it. It's so hard navigating this. Like, you're so lucky if you don't have to like deal with this problem, because people just call you like picky or stuck up, or like they will like not take any time to understand what you're going through, and they'll just judge. So don't be like that. So here's my experience. I wanted my chicken souvlaki. I went to Greek souvlaki. It's on 404 East Broadway. We went through the drive-thru, and their drive-thru is kind of cool because like they like you don't order through a speaker. Like, they'll have somebody come out and like actually take your order, which is really cool, and they're always really kind and patient, and so it's good stuff. And so I ordered a double chicken souvlaki, but to make it, I think they have like, I can't remember what it's called. They have like a thing that's like a cheaper option that's like you get to choose rice or fries, and then super salad or something like that. I don't even know. I don't know. But then there's like a bigger option that you can get rice and fries and a super salad. And when like, okay, here, let me explain. Anytime I'm asked super salad, I panic because like I don't know what they mean. Like, if it was like a Caesar salad, I'm good with Caesar salad as long as there's no tomatoes or onion. They better not put that on my Caesar salad. But if it's a soup, like most places you go, like I don't know what the fuck kind of soup they have, and I don't really like soup that much. Like, just because the soups that I think of, they have all these veggies in a broth with like potato and meat or something, and I never like that. I don't want that. However, the caveat of Greek food is that they do a chicken lemon rice soup typically. Oh my god, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's just delicious soup. And so when I go to like somewhere like the Olympian, I always get that soup. So that's the one exception, that Greek soup is like, they know what the fuck they're doing. And so when she asked me super salad, I panicked for like a couple seconds because I'm like, I don't know what to order. I don't think I'm gonna like that. Like, it's gonna be a waste of food. And then it clicked. I was like, they are a Greek place. They have Greek soup. So I was like, in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, finally, somewhere where I can order the soup. Like, I felt so human. I felt so normal. I felt like a neurotypical person. Like, yes, I'll take the soup. Thank you. Like, little things like that. Like, you guys will never understand, like, how much that meant to me. Like, it sounds so crazy, but, like, it will make me emotional. Like, just to be able to go somewhere and the options they have are ones you like and you'll eat them and they're good. Oh my god. And then so I got home and I was a little wary and I tried the soup. And like as soon as I opened it, it was like yellow and oily, like the delicious soups from the Greek food. And I was so happy and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And so I dug my spoon down at the bottom of the bowl of the soup and I like picked it up and I kind of like looked at it before I eat it, because usually I don't like, I'm not gonna just like start eating food without looking. Like, I inspect like every bite of my food. Like, it's not good, not healthy, but like it's just something I do. And so I inspect and I'm like, wait, this isn't rice, this is orzo. But then I'm like, let me like figure it out. Let me see. Oh my god, it was so good. And so this was just like a beautiful experience for me. Because I've had so many flip side experiences where I had the soup and like I was haphazard with it and I just like go like, I'm gonna love the soup, and then I'm like, chunk of onion, what do I do? And like it's over for me. But this soup was so beautiful and amazing. So I don't know how to explain it to you. That just like, I'm always gonna go back there for the orzo soup. Like, oh my god, religious experience. I can't believe it. Like, I can't emphasize how meaningful this was for me. So that's why they're my number one local business feature. You'd better go check out Greek souvlaki and you get that soup. You eat that soup. It's so good. If like the pickiest person in the world loves it, of course you will love it. So, okay. So, I'm gonna get off my soapbox about Greek souvlaki now. They were everything I needed. Everything I needed in that moment. So I'm forever grateful for them. All right. I did go to a different place too. Yesterday I was trying to get 10K steps in and I failed miserably. I got like 5K and I was so exhausted and tired and felt like so pissed off that I didn't even get half to my goal, but we might try that again today. I think I have to go pick up my prescriptions. So I might just be walking around today. I don't know. But yesterday, excuse me. Oh my gosh, I'm like burping and stuff. Okay, so I went to this place called Chubby Baker. It's on 317 East, 900 South. These are both Salt Lake City. And they are a Asian American, I believe, family bakery, if I'm understanding that right. And they have like so many delicious looking things. I was only able to try one thing so far. I'm gonna have to go back and like try everything because they've got like all these drinks and they've got a lot of donuts and cakes and things like that. So what I got a strawberry and cream donut, and oh my god, it was so delicious and it was so big and so rich, and I had to share it, and like we had like, it's just like it slowed us down. It was so yummy though. But the thing about the place too is it's so freaking cute. Like if you were like gonna go to the Barbie movie or like have like a little Barbie movie pre-event or something, you would want to go there because it's so cutesy and pink and just like the cutest place to take pictures. Like I'm gonna have to go there all cutesy somehow and like teleport there so I'm not like sweaty when I get there and like take photos and stuff because oh my god, it's like the cutest place ever, dude. And so I'm gonna have to go back as soon as possible. It just sucks because there's a lot of construction over there and they're also close to like the tent city, so be careful when you're over there. It didn't always be this way, but you know, that's just how it be like now in 2023. So okay, let's see, we are almost like 40 minutes in and I've only been doing segments, you know, like my recurring segments. I have one more and then on to a couple stories that I wanted to tell about I can't say it, misogynistic things that have happened in my life. I wonder if somebody can like make a compilation of all the strange things that I say when I'm like misspeaking my words, because I end up saying some strange like weird things. I don't know. Okay, so for my segment, oh my god, segment? That's not a word. Segment. Y'all, I need to like do like la 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 la, like all those like things. My warm-ups before I do the next podcast, before I do episode 5. So, on my weekly, someone you should know, I have somebody that maybe you probably have never heard of, probably would have never heard of, but now you're gonna know who this is. So I want to talk about Queen. Well, she's not literally a queen, but like she is. Like she's a queen. So her name is Siahiba Saufa. So forgive me if I'm screwing up her name. Probably I am. She's Javanese, so I believe that means she's from Indonesia, from island of Java, right? Somebody correct me because I don't know much about Indonesia at all. So her and like 3 other girls from like a singing group, they've been going so mega viral on TikTok lately. And the reason why, well, first of all, they're really awesome singers and they have bops, dude. Like their songs go hard. Like, and we don't even know like Javanese, but like we can feel the vibes. Like we know these are like bad B music, you know. And so the other thing, I don't know if I can like, I don't think this, maybe I shouldn't, but like I'm trying to demonstrate for you. She does this like twerk thing and she's like I can't. I'm just gonna not. I'm not gonna do it. But like once you like see what she's doing, like you'll look her up and you'll know what I'm talking about. They like twerk, but like the most classiest twerk that you've ever seen. It's iconic. So we already like loved them. We loved like the music, we loved the dancing, but then somebody went and like translated the song for us, which we wanted really bad because like we want to know what is this like song we're vibing so hard to, because like it is a bop and we want to know what it says. And so like the most iconic parts were like, it says like, you like to talk behind my back like the devil's ally, you have guts talking about behind you but haven't when talking face to face, and you were laughing when a friend is suffering, you were grumbling when a friend's happy. Like, oh, it's so relatable because we all know those people that like you would almost feel like awkward to like celebrate yourself with them because they only love it when you have something to complain about. Like, really keep an eye on the people who you feel so comfy commiserating with. Those people are not your friend. Like, somebody needed to tell me, and like nobody told me. I had to find out the hard way, so I'm gonna tell you. So yeah, so that's somebody you should know. Sia Hiba, she's iconic. My toxic trait is thinking I look like her. So maybe we should like do a Sia Hiba cosplay, because literally, so she has brown eyes, but she wears like these crazy colored contacts. So like I feel like when she does wear those, like we have the same face shape, we like part our hair in the middle, like we're the same bitch, okay? So yeah, just she's such a vibe. All of those girls, like check them out. Like you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? So let's see where we're at. We're at 40 minutes now. I want to keep it like an hour, but I don't want to force it to an hour. Do you see what I'm saying? But I want to talk about... Oh, bless you, baby. My dog is having allergies over there. So, let me see. Hold on. I wrote a note here that I'm like, I don't know what... Oh, okay. So, I wanted to talk about a couple stories that I've had. One of them is like from college, and it's especially heinous. The other one, it's like from high school, and it's not that... like because I can't remember that much, okay? So I've always had a fascination and like hold on, I'm sorry, my dog, he needs something. He needs out. Give me like 1 second. I'm so sorry. This is like stupid. Chico, baby, come on. I'm sorry, guys, that was so silly. So he might need more things, but for now I'm just gonna tell you these stories. So I've always had a passion for like radio, TV, like broadcasting, movies, like just anything like production, like audiovisual, I don't know, music, like just all that stuff. And so when I was in high school, in 9th grade, we get like chance to like take certain electives or whatever, and so I signed up for this one that was like radio, TV, broadcasting, and I think it was supposed to be kind of like a prerequisite to like the TV West thing. So I went to West High, and they had like a little TV thing that they'd put on every week on like Friday, and the students would put it together, and so they were like kind of like in a more like advanced radio TV broadcasting, so that they would learn how to like edit and produce and put like all these segments together, so that every week it was kind of like a podcast almost. And so the class that I took was like kind of like a prerequisite to that, I guess, or like an intro to learning those skills. So that was like the very first experience I ever had with editing. They actually taught us on like Mac computers, which was interesting because I've never actually used like a Mac in my normal like everyday life or whatever. I always like use Windows and stuff like that. But this particular class, it was very unique because I think the first day I was the only girl in the class. And that's like always the worst feeling ever because You just don't get treated like anybody else. It's really, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, you just get treated like an alien, kind of. But it was like the first day. There was another girl in the class, but she didn't like show up until like later on. I think maybe she like moved to Salt Lake, or I can't remember exactly what her deal was. But when she finally did come to class, it didn't feel like, oh great, like now there's another girl that like I can hang out with, because she was not a girl's girl. Like, she was like a rich girl. She was actually the first person I've ever seen with an iPhone. This was in like 2007. Wow. So that was the first person I ever saw with the iPhone, was the only other girl in my radio TV broadcasting class. So she was like rich, she was like snooty. Like I said, she was not a girl's girl. She was like very like pick me vibes. So the boys in the class loved her, and nobody wanted to be my friend in that class. It just sucked. And then there was also a boy in that class. There were multiple boys that were a problem for me. Like, there was one that like, he was really mean to me. I knew he actually had a crush on me, but he was just so fucking rude. And he was like in so many of my classes. And just like, it always felt like anytime I'm just like sitting there in class, like I could feel him like looking at me. And like, I hate that feeling. I hate the feeling of like feeling like someone's like looking at you. Ugh, it feels so disgusting. And so, yeah, that's a whole other story about that boy. But, yeah, there was another boy in that class that was like a real fucking problem, that I knew he liked me because he, like, I think that was like the second year he went to school with us, he was like aggressively creepy to me, like harassing me, just gross. And he was a problem. I have no idea how he didn't get kicked out like way sooner before he did. He was a problem. And, him and some other boy, I don't know, there was a whole other class where like I was not the only girl, and I had a female teacher, and we were all supposed to be like reading or watching a movie. I can't remember what we were doing in the class, but it was like a quiet activity where we were just like kind of sitting, and we were supposed to have an attention span, which we didn't. And then there was like these two other boys in that class that they were literally like, they had like little erasers. They had little erasers, and do you know what they were doing? Okay, do you see how like I wear shirts that they're not very low, but there is a gap here? These boys were throwing erasers, trying to aim them to land in my shirt. And the teacher could see this happening, and she didn't do anything. Like, I don't get that, dude. And this was like the same, not a different time frame, like maybe 2006, 2007. That's not that long ago. It wasn't that different of a time. Was like harassment okay back then? Because I didn't ever think it was. It's just gross. Gross, the fucking things that we had to deal with. And I know that I wasn't the only one. I know it was not just my school. Like, the things that boys got away with, oh my god, what the fuck? And then because they get away with those things in their youth, imagine what they do in their adult lives, and thinking it's okay and getting away with it. It's so disturbing. So those were like the particularly nasty, experiences, was like with these boys in high school and everything. In college, thank God it wasn't like that. However, I can't say it was like better. Like, it wasn't, the college and high school were like totally different experiences, because in high school I was getting like sexually harassed like almost every day at school, like most days. And then in college, thank God, I can't think of a time when I was like sexually harassed. Thank God. But so I had taken so I was taking Arabic a lot in college, and there was kind of like, it's hard to explain. So when you first start Arabic, there's like way more classes. Like, there's just a lot more people taking intro to Arabic than people who continue with it. And so in the intro classes, they're very mixed, you know, they're very diverse. It's like boys and girls and a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different ages, you know, so you meet a lot of cool different friends. But as you progress through it, you find yourself in a way more homogenous kind of class. So like, I can't remember, like my second year was probably a smaller class, but still a little bit diverse. And then the last class that I remember taking of Arabic, it was a very small class. There was less than 10 of us, including the teacher, in a small room, no windows. The teacher, he's male, and every other student besides me was also male. And that alone is not a problem. I can't always control that I'm gonna sign up for a class that like another girl did. Yeah, of course, I can't control that. However, what happened in the class really sucked, and I didn't think much of it in the moment, and I didn't even like send any complaint. Like it just happened and passed, and maybe it was allowed to happen again. So because we're such a small class, when we do a group project, it's all of us working together. And so we were supposed to do like a big end of the year project that was like a video with skits and in Arabic, of course. And the boys, they like wanted to do something based off of Lord of the Rings, okay? Bear with me here, because this is kind of why like I have an irrational hate of like Lord of the Rings or Lord of the Rings. Is because of this. So I have like watched those movies before, I guess, like as a kid, and like I couldn't like pay attention. I never read the books. I don't know like the details of the plot, anything. So I wasn't super helpful of like the content of writing like the script and stuff, but I was helpful to like be able to translate certain things that they wanted help translating. So I was useful with the project. I did participate as far as I was allowed to. And so we had to film different things, and we filmed on a certain day, and we got together on campus, and, you know, like we're directed and did these little different skits and whatever like we had to do. That's great. That's fine. Everything leading up to the point, that's fine. What happened next was that to finish up like the fine details of the project, the boys said, we're going to get together tomorrow for a boys' day to finish up the project. Now, had it been like a group of maybe half boys, half girls, and the boys want to get together to do a boys' day, okay, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But remember, I'm the only girl in the class. I'm the only girl in the group. And all the boys of the group have decided that they're going to all get together tomorrow for a boys' day. The only person excluded from that was me. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out how fucked up that is. Like, how was that? What the fuck? Like, okay, alright. And in the moment, I kind of like didn't take it too serious, because I was like, okay, well, I did my part. Like, that's less work I have to do. I'm still going to get my grade. I'm still going to get my credits. I'm still going to get my degree. But like, just the injustice of that, like, just if I heard any woman in my life have to go through something like that for no reason, like, just say that like you don't want to hang out with me because I'm a girl. Like, just say that like that I'm not like on the same level as you guys. And this always happens like everywhere in life. My last job, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but literally this is so relevant. My last job at the credit union, like the whole culture like of it, super like boys club vibes. Like, they would not like treat me and my friend like just as equals, just as the same as them, just because we're girls. Like, I hate that so much. I hate that. It's just really ugly. Like, I don't know why people don't teach their sons, like, hey, I know it's very, like, normal for you and your boyfriends, not like boyfriend, you know, your friends that are boys, to get together and kind of pack up in, like, these little wolf packs with your little boys and fucking treat women bad. Like, the amount of men I know in my life that, like, when I'm one-on-one with them, they'll treat me normal. But when they're around their boys, they act completely different. That's the ugliest thing you can do, and you're gonna be single forever. if you act like that, swear to God. Because it's ugly. Just, like, treat everybody the same. Like, how do you don't even assume my pronouns? Just treat me like everybody else. I don't care if I'm a girl. Like, so what? What did I do? Like, it's like I'm in the same class as you. We're here. We're learning Arabic. What? Come on, guy. So that stuff like that has always pissed me off. Like, why do boys have to be like that? That's so, like, shady. Like little pack animals, like little pigs. Little stupid pigs. I'm sorry if I'm, like, I don't want to alienate, like, my male audience. But also, that's another thing I want to talk about too. Okay, so besides that, like, mean girl video that I made on TikTok, before that, the last thing that really got some traction was, like, I made this video talking about religion and how I respect all the religions, but that, like, if I'm telling you I'm not religious, don't put your religious rules on me, right? So that had a lot of traction on it. And what I noticed about that video was that so many more people that were being fed that video by the algorithm and that were, like, listening to me or, like, interacting with it, it was, like, mostly men. And I was, like, became disgusted with that because it kind of occurred to me of, like, why do men care so much, like, if I convert to their religion and, like, women literally don't care at all? Like, why is that? And then I was like, it's because they think that me converting to their religion is going to make me, like, eligible to, like, marry them or something. Which sounds like an egotistical take, but no, it's absolutely not. Because there's very, very few women that I've ever encountered that were trying to, like, convert me to Islam when so many men will come from the fucking highlands to, like, wander down with their sheep to, like, come and convert me. They'll, like, hear me, like, speaking out in the world. Yeah. So I want to give you guys some takeaways from this episode. Some takeaways, okay? Check out Sia Hiba Saufa. She's iconic. Make sure to go to Greek Souvlaki and Chubby Baker in Salt Lake City if you're in town. Make sure that you teach your boys, don't form, like, pack animals and treat women just as you would treat men. All the grandeur and splendor of how you would treat a man, treat a woman that way. Just see what happens. You never know. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, yeah. Also, we want to make sure that we're liking the video. We subscribe to the GMST podcast on YouTube. Super important. Hit the notification bell too. That is crucial. That will make it so you'll actually see this video. Because how will you even know that I posted it if you don't have notifications on? You know? So that's important. I also have an Instagram account that is for this podcast. It's at GMST podcast. So make sure you follow there. If you want to see my goofy TikTok, which it's not the best, like, it's not bad content, but it's not the best content, but it's kind of, like, all over the place, I guess. But it's my most popular social media if you want to see what's going on there. I keep them fed, even if it's just crackers. I meant that I'm feeding you crackers, not that you're not. Anyway. So yeah. So make sure you follow those. I do have a personal YouTube that I want to get into, like feeding that one a little more, because, you know, I've neglected it quite a bit by prioritizing TikTok. TikToks are just kind of quicker to make. I can do TikTok all entirely from my phone, whereas like on YouTube I have to get my laptop involved. It's like a whole thing. It's kind of like this, but even a little bit harder, because then I have to edit too, because this is not that hard. So I have those. Let's see what else. I'm thinking about making a Facebook page for this. Let me know if you think that would be valuable or a waste of my time. Either way, I would like to know. Honest truth is always welcome with me, as long as it's constructive and not gonna make me cry. Let's see. So we got the Instagram, we got TikTok. What else have we got? Let's see. Yeah, that's mostly it. Can't quite think of anything else. Yeah. So we are 4 episodes deep now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video episode. It wasn't too bad. I kind of, you know, it's nice to get a little jazzed up every once in a while. It makes it way easier to mask when you literally have like a mask of makeup and you have your hair done, you have like a little bit of jewelry, you got a little outfit, something on. It just reminds you to like be a human. Because when I'm just looking scrungy and yucky, then I'm like feel so entitled to be my most unhinged self. And like when I like look like I'm put together, I kind of like, it tricks my brain into thinking I'm a little put together. So yes, I'm so appreciative that you guys are with me listening through this entire episode. You are like so the coolest human ever if you made it all the way through. Like, you literally listened to me the whole time. You're incredible, and I love you so much. I hope that you'll be here next week with me on Monday for our next GMST podcast. I love you, love you, love you. Mwah. Have a beautiful, productive day. Bye-bye.